AJ Styles is one of the most accomplished wrestlers ever and has been a top champion in every company he's been in. But that barely scratches the surface. He jumped ship to WWE like 20 years into his career. He was like 40 years old. What the hell was he doing during his prime? Well, today, I'ma tell you. But hit that sub button real quick and let's get into it. And pardon me, I gotta, I got some sickness in me. You could probably tell, but anyways, let's get to it. So to take a look back, we gotta look back at TNA. We have to. So TNA started in 2002 by Jeff Jarrett of all people, and it was affiliated with NWA. This was 1 year after WCW died, so it was a rather quick replacement alternative. But TNA has dodged bankruptcy more times than the chum bucket, but somehow, this company never died. TNA had so many ex-WWE guys jump ship, but it's more about your core talent that's homegrown. And for TNA, AJ Styles was that standout homegrown talent. This guy had it all. But honestly, he had a lot of help with great talent across the board. Let's take a look back at the X Division, for example. Christopher Daniels, Amazing Red, Chris Sabin, Petey Williams, Jay Lethal, Samoa Joe, Alex Shelley. There were just so many good stars. The X Division was really TNA's gold mine. And funny enough, the X Division title will be AJ's first title in TNA. If you're a fan of in-ring wrestling, I'd recommend watching some of these old TNA matches. They were doing moves and combos people still do to this day. This division was influential and just crispy smooth. But the thing that really put it over the top was the Ultimate X matches. This, in all honesty, might be the coolest match type ever created in wrestling. Just look at some of these clips, man. TNA had some of the most bass-ackwards match types like reverse battle royals and ladder matches where you had to put the title on the top. Yeah, pretty trash, I know. But I'm telling you, this one hit. You had the six-sided ring with the X on top. It was just beautiful. But AJ dominated this division. He won the X Division title and the NWA tag titles in his first year. He was built for greatness. But that was only just a start though. In 2003, he was focused on the World Championship. AJ faced Jeff Jarrett for the title, but unfortunately, he came up short. Jarrett put himself over. What a crook. But it wasn't just a one-match push on some Cesaro shit. This was a real push. On June 11th, it was on. Raven versus Jeff Jarrett versus AJ Styles for the NWA World Championship. The match would go on, and at the end, Vince Russo, yes, Vince Russo. By the way, who signed this guy? But anyways, Russo came in with a guitar, and he smacked Jarrett upside the head with it. AJ capitalized on it and hit the Styles Clash. AJ was now a Triple Crown champion. Ooh, this my shit. But by 2004, AJ had won the world title twice and got the X Division 3 times. And he was a perfect diverse talent that could jump from both sides. In 2005 though, this is where TNA really turns up and hit their stride. They picked up names like Bubba Ray and Devon, Christian Cage, and Jeff Hardy. They had a great mix of big names and homegrown talent, and their roster was just so stacked. And this year though, AJ arguably had his most iconic match ever. It was Unbreakable 2005, and AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels, and Samoa Joe put on a clinic for the X Division title. I've personally never met anyone that hated this match. It's a straight war from start to end, and it definitely lived up to the total nonstop action name. At the end, AJ countered Daniels and got the win. This was just incredible. AJ in just a few years was a 5-time X Division champion, and this combo of 3 guys really elevated this division. And Samoa Joe was just a juggernaut who could move like a cat. It was incredible. At this point, AJ was in his athletic prime, and he was just hitting crazy ass moves. In 2006, this is where TNA picked up Kurt Angle. This made them legit. When you think of TNA, odds are you think of these 2 guys, Kurt and AJ. But there's actually a video on YouTube called Collection of Insane Moves AJ Styles Doesn't Do Anymore, and it's just filled with some of the most insane moves you'll ever see. But you could also find gems like this. AJ Styles versus Hiroshi Tanahashi on pay-per-view. The ace of New Japan versus the ace of every company he's worked for. AJ Styles was Mr. TNA in 2003, 2004, and 2005. If you watch AJ now and just think he's like overrated and he's just a clown, you're sadly mistaken, my boy. But when AJ Styles signed with TNA, it wasn't an exclusive deal. That means that AJ was able to wrestle in the indies too. This run has to be studied by future wrestlers. This guy was dominating multiple promotions at the same time. In 2003, AJ won the ROH tag titles with the Amazing Red hella quickly, but that wasn't it. AJ Styles became the first ever Ring of Honor Pure Champion, going on to face and beat CM Punk for it. Pretty damn cool. But AJ Styles also competed in PWG, winning their world title as well. I don't know much about PWG, but I know this company had some of the craziest YouTube clips I've ever seen as a kid. And you know what? I gotta respect it. I'm pretty sure they also had someone with a lethal weenie. What type of wrestling is this? But you know what? Let's go back to TNA, because I'm losing my mind. In 2008, AJ Styles got his first dose of reality TV WWE style of wrestling when he accidentally got married to Karen Angle. And you know what? I was going to mention it later on, but I gotta say it now. AJ was a player because he also got caught lip-locking in a jacuzzi date with Dixie Carter. Kazarian and Daniels were onto them, and they had the proof. He had to come up with the grandest excuse of all time to get out of this one. But then, this old-ass lady put up to the scene that looks like a stoic lunch lady, and she basically said that AJ got drugged, assaulted, and blackmailed. Y'all thought TNA was normal? Shit, it was as wild as WWE. But alright, let's go back to the normal timeline. So AJ would have a huge problem on his hands, and that problem was the main event mafia. They were completely dominating TNA. AJ would beat Booker T for the TNA Legends Championship, becoming the first TNA Grand Slam champion. If you haven't noticed by now, AJ was that guy, and he was their guy. But of course, when you're at the top, you're a top target, and something unimaginable happened to AJ. AJ faced Angle in a King of the Mountain match for the TNA title, but at the end, Samoa Joe turned his back on AJ to help Angle win. The guy that the Mafia bullied and fat shamed for a full year turned on AJ. If he was able to turn like that, then nobody was safe. But AJ kept going. Self-doubt, lack of confidence, and the struggle kicked in. He was thinking about retiring. But Sting ended up talking AJ out of it. Sting wanted AJ to carry the torch. And at No Surrender, AJ was back on it. AJ would overcome all the odds and won the TNA World title back in a fatal 5-way match. So if you didn't notice by now, AJ in TNA was like what Sami Zayn was for NXT. He was the underdog face and undoubtedly the heart of TNA. But in 2010, that would change. But this was 2010 TNA after all, where Hogan and Bischoff completely stripped TNA from all their original swag and even switched the ring back to 4 sides. When I was a kid and I tuned into TNA and I saw that weak ass ring, I was pissed. But anywho, AJ was having straight bangers. But the next time AJ fought Kurt, the roles would be reversed. Ric Flair helped AJ beat Kurt, and TNA's Golden Boy had gone bad. This is where everything went to straight shit. They were doing so many complex stories for no reason, it was impossible to keep up. But to keep it short and simple, AJ and Flair started a faction called Fortune. And on paper, it seemed cool, but AJ was built to be a face. It didn't hit. When you go into business with a bunch of ego-filled, washed-up old men, it's destined to go to shit. And get this, they had AJ lose to Ric Flair in a match in 2011. Ric Flair was 62! What are we doing here, man? This is embarrassing. You had your greatest homegrown talent and investment losing to Flair's old ass in his peak. And look, I'm not a hater. To this day, I still respect everything Ric Flair has done, but this is why people hate it. But anyways, though, let's get to 2013. So in TNA, the big thing was the Aces and Eights, and it was a shoddy NWO type stable that took over TNA, and I gotta be honest, they were pretty cool. So they would finally get their hands on a member, and we got some type of clarity. The first main member was revealed to be Devon. Yes, get the tables, Dudley Boy, Devon. And I'm not gonna lie, I gotta give Hogan credit. He was about 58 in 2011, and he was in fantastic shape, and honestly, he still is. But the group was getting so out of hand that for some reason, Shaq got involved. But during this, Bully Ray would fall in love with Brooke Hogan, Hulk Hogan's daughter, and they were set to get married. The Aces and Eights shut that shit down quick, and it was revealed that Taz, the announcer, was now in the group. They kept getting stronger, and as their next member would be revealed as Bully Ray. He was kind of a fat doofus before, but when he joined this faction and picked up Brooke Tessmacher, he was an instant 99 overall. And by the way, Brooke was a legit knockout baddie 100%. But anyways, they were OP. But who better to go against them than the heart and soul of TNA, AJ Styles. This wasn't old AJ though. This was all black, cold heart, lone wolf AJ Styles. Remember early in this video I talked about Sting passing the torch to AJ? Yeah, well AJ to Aces and Eights was what Sting was to the NWO. It was perfect. But there was something different about this AJ. He had so much sauce. I get a fuzzy feeling every time I see it. But was he going to join Aces and Eights? Or was he going to go solo? He put on the jacket and it looked like it was over. But AJ grabbed the hammer and he started going to town. Let's go AJ. But this wasn't even the best part. So main event Mafia and Aces and Eights were going at it, but the main event Mafia was outnumbered. What happened next was legendary.
You kidding me?
The amount of goosebumps I get from this entrance, oh my god. This theme transition to me might be the greatest TNA song ever. And by the way, while we're on the topic, AJ has a calling for picking theme songs. If you've never heard his ROH theme, please check it out. It's a smash hit. But AJ was the game changer. Aces and Eights were crumbling from the core, and AJ was their top enemy. And he had them fumbling. At Bound for Glory, it would be decided. Bully Ray versus AJ Styles for the TNA World Championship. Despite the interferences, despite the distractions from even Dixie Carter of all people, despite the ring being exposed, AJ defied all odds, hit the angelic spiral tap, and took back his throne. But the crazy thing was, AJ wasn't even signed to TNA. Yes, the top champion wasn't signed to the company. With the title on him, he walked out of the company. And if you were watching this, you probably thought like, oh, maybe it's just a storyline. You know, they copied WWE before. But no, it wasn't. They couldn't agree on a deal. This was the final nail in the coffin for TNA. It's like MJF leaving AEW. Dumbass Dixie Pixie sold their best wrestler. AJ had a 12-year TNA run. But you want to know what these dumbasses did? They offered AJ a contract that reduced his salary by 60%. 60%! Who were they paying? I think Dixie was doing some shady backdoor gambling or something. How do you go so broke like that? But anyways though, AJ moved on. And his next target was Ring of Honor. On January 4th, 2014, AJ Styles will return to Ring of Honor facing Roderick Strong. I guarantee this match brought his passion back for wrestling. Cause after his first dose of this, he went on the run of a lifetime. Bro, Hoodie AJ was a different beast. But during this run, AJ faced people like Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, and Chris Hero. But AJ wanted that top title, and he'd get a shot at it against another TNA legend in Jay Lethal. This match was very fast paced and smooth, and AJ pulled out this fire ass anime power up looking move. I'm sorry, this gotta be the most boo-boo ass ref I've ever seen. The reactions he was making the whole match had me dying. Ultimately though, Jay Lethal hit the sauciest lethal injection I've ever seen and beat AJ. What a match, and what a way to end it with Ring of Honor. But during the span of 2014 and 2016, AJ went on an indie conqueror speed run. I've never seen anything like this, guys. Please look at this. On February 8th, 2014, AJ returned to CZW after 11 years, defeating CZW World Heavyweight Champion Drew Gulak. It was by DQ, but hey, a win is a win. But he was beating world champs off rip. On March 11th, 2015, Styles defeated John Hennigan, aka John Morrison, to win the FWE Heavyweight Championship. Look, Wiki isn't always the greatest source, I get it, but unless they're outright lying to me, then this is a crazy ass takeover. On June 14th, 2015, Styles won the RPW British Heavyweight Championship, defeating Marty Scurll as Summer Sizzler for the title. But get this one. On January 14th, 2016, he wrestled in a match for 5-Star Wrestling in England, where he faced Rey Mysterio for the first time, where Styles defeated Mysterio. I never even saw this match, but I could guarantee it was special. But honestly, the best was yet to come, and AJ will return to New Japan Pro Wrestling and join the Bullet Club.
Bullet Club for life.
This time around, the revolution will not be televised.
We weren't handcuffed when we were in Japan. We could say and do anything we wanted.
When the Bullet Club was going on, it was a special time. This was a time where non-WWE wrestling was peaking, and the Bullet Club spearheaded this. Were they a geeky NWO? Yes. Was it still fire? Hell yeah. There was Bullet Club shirts all over crowds, and they had a little behind-the-scenes show called Being the Elite. Honestly, for its time, this show was kind of revolutionary. How many shows do you see now exposing stuff and showing behind-the-scenes looks at the business? There's endless. But this was the first. But anyways, AJ dominated Japan. I remember seeing him wear a mask and I was just blown away. Styles quickly led the boom period and he got rewarded with the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, which made him the first American IWGP Heavyweight Champion since Brock Lesnar in 2005, which is pretty sick. But nah man, I don't think you guys really know, AJ Styles was a legitimate killer in this run. And trust me, I'm gonna tell you why. On March 1st, 2014, AJ would deliver a Styles Clash to Lionheart, but he tucked his head and he actually broke his neck. Yeah, everybody knows the Styles Clash is the one move you cannot tuck your head in for. Yeah, I learned this the hard way. I was like 6 and my brother hit the Styles Clash on me. I wasn't even seeing stars, I was seeing hexagons. I didn't know what the hell was going on. But apparently, nobody told these New Japan guys that. Because 1 year later, Yoshitatsu, poor guy, he got hit with the Styles Clash and he broke his neck too. As unfortunate as this was, it raised AJ Styles' aura drastically. He was looked at as the next like King Von or something, but people wanted this move banned because bodies were dropping left and right. But it really wasn't AJ's fault, to be honest. And I don't blame the people either, because when your hands and legs are locked, it's your first instinct to tuck your neck. But anyways though, AJ competed in the very coveted G1 Climax tournament, and he entered the World Tag League, competing against people like Okada, Tanahashi, Naito, and all the legendary New Japan names, with my favorite one being Kota Ibushi. I don't know what it is about this guy, but he just has the it factor. He looks like a badass anime samurai character. I need to see him in WWE one day. But real ones remember his NXT run. But the main gem AJ had, his absolute best match probably ever, a match so good that it had an unbeatable standard for these guys in the future. And that match was AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura at Wrestle Kingdom 10. I'm putting this match up there with the TNA Triple in 2005 and the Cena and AJ Royal Rumble 2017 match. That's how good this match is. Shit, become a criminal, download any VPN, watch any shitty 240 video on YouTube, do anything to try to see this match. It is worth it, I'm telling you. But this would be his last match in New Japan, and what a way to go out. AJ had conquered the Indies, and he won everything there was to win. He kept this standard throughout this whole run. But the best part was, he was just having fun. Like, I remember seeing clips of the Bullet Club killing Evan Bourne, which is one of the best combos ever, by the way. But AJ was making a storyline out of a botch, and yeah, just so many fun things. But I also gotta give credit to the Young Bucks. Their way to adapt with so many wrestlers to bring them together and just have great chemistry with all of them is definitely a difficult skill. But can't forget about those legendary super kick parties too. I think they even kicked their own dad. But Styles made his final appearance for New Japan, where he got turned on by the Bullet Club and replaced by Kenny Omega, and a new era for the Bullet Club had begun. And AJ was off to a new company. A company called WWE. But that's another video for another day. And there it is, man. If you've only seen AJ Styles' WWE run, I suggest you look back at this too. Hell, I'd even go on the record of saying that AJ Styles is the greatest non-WWE wrestler of all time. Even the biggest casuals knew who AJ Styles was before WWE. And that is the best compliment you could ever get. I don't think I will ever feel this way about an indie wrestler ever again. AJ Styles is easily in my top 10 of all time, and he's probably gonna retire soon. So thank you, AJ. But with all that being said, let's answer the question. How good was AJ Styles' run before WWE? Well, to keep it simple, it was simply phenomenal.
If you're not an AJ Styles fan, you shouldn't even be watching WWE. Single most phenomenal in-ring performer I have ever had the honor, pleasure of watching up close. No one has ever compared to what I witnessed tonight. You, sir, I have nothing but respect and admiration.